Today we're diving into a story that's equal parts tragedy, conspiracy and outright war. It's a tale of a woman who dared to speak the unspeakable. Wendy Williams, the former queen of daytime TV, now a prisoner in her own life. Locked away in an assisted care facility in New York, stripped of her voice, her freedom, and maybe even her future. They've tried to silence her, not just with legal chains, but with poison slipped into her food, her water, her air. Yet somehow, against all odds, she's pulled through, clinging to life and the explosive truth that she carries. Why? Because Wendy knows things. Things so dangerous, so damning, that the elite would rather see her dead than let her speak. Buckle up, because we're about to plunge into the shadows of Hollywood, the corridors of power, and a conspiracy that's fighting to bury her and the secret she holds 6 feet under. Before we dive in, join the TPV free speech community over on Soju. Soju is a digital space where ideas and information can take place without any annoying algorithms or restrictive rules getting in the way of free expression. And sign up to become a member of the world's first ever cybernation that truly believes in life, liberty, and the pursuit of your dreams. Visit joson.com and click the Join Us button today. It's completely free. Let's set the scene. March 10th, 2025. Wendy Williams, once the no-filter firebrand of The Wendy Williams Show, is a ghost. Her social media, silent. Her voice, gone. Her empire, dismantled. Officially, she's in an assisted living facility in Manhattan, under a guardianship that's been shrouded in mystery since 2022. But here's where it gets wild. Earlier this week, a crumpled note fluttered down from a window in that facility, scrawled in shaky handwriting. Help, Wendy. A stranger stumbled across her note, scribbled in desperation, and dialed for help. Within hours, Wendy was rushed to a hospital, lights flashing, urgency cackling in the air. And she needed it bad, because according to her team, some shadowy figure tied to the elite had slipped into the chaos, hell-bent on finishing her off. Poison, they say, a quiet, ruthless move to silence her for good. The complicit media spun it as a health scare, but everybody close to Wendy knows the truth. And then, on Monday, a bombshell. A psychiatrist evaluated her and declared her mental capacity fully intact. So why is a sharp, capable woman being held like a prisoner? The answer, my friends, is dynamite. And it's got some very big names sweating bullets. Wendy Williams didn't just talk gossip, she knew things. For years, she dropped hints on her show, little breadcrumbs about the dark underbelly of the entertainment world. She'd smirk, lean into the camera, and say just enough to make you wonder. But insiders tell us that she wasn't guessing. She was sitting on a vault of evidence. Sworn depositions, audio recordings, names, dates, and details that could torch the careers of Hollywood's untouchables. And at the center of this storm, Sean Diddy Combs and his sprawling network of power players. People like Robert De Niro, who we'll get into in a minute. Wendy's team reached out to us with a stash of leaked files. And let me tell you, what's in there isn't just scandalous, it's downright chilling. Picture this, early 2023, Wendy's still fighting to reclaim her life after her show was yanked out from under her because she was threatening the machine. She's got a whistleblower in her corner, a former Diddy insider who's seen the parties, the deals, the crimes. The guy hands her a deposition so raw it could peel the paint off the walls. He's talking about elite gatherings, private islands, locked rooms, and kids. Yes, kids. Names you'd recognize from red carpets and Oscar speeches, all tangled up in something so vile, it will make your stomach turn. Wendy doesn't just sit on it, she starts planning. She's going to blow the lid off this thing, take it to the courts, the press, the people. But before she can, the trap snaps shut. Guardianship papers materialize out of nowhere. Her bank accounts freeze, her phone vanishes, and suddenly she's locked away. A mentally sound woman branded as unfit, all because she dared to threaten the machine.
When she put out those pictures of the dude pulling his pants down, and it looked like some gay act that was going on, he got on the phone. He said, let me tell you this. When I get back to New York City, if she's on the radio station, he's talking to a radio executive. He said, nobody that I deal with, nobody that I know is gonna do anything with y'all, no business at all. It ain't gonna be no artist, no nothing gonna come. He's telling people that at a radio station. When we got back to New York City, Wendy Williams was in Philly.
We come from a very homosexual era of hip-hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such.
Now let's talk about the players. Diddy's the ringleader. At least that's what those on the inside say. He's got the connections, the influence, the private jets that crisscross the globe. But he's far from alone. He's got half of Hollywood and DC with him. Enter Robert De Niro. Yeah, that De Niro. The guy who spent decades as Hollywood's golden boy, railing against Trump and preaching morality from his ivory tower. Which is interesting, considering that we have footage of him complaining about being interviewed by police in Paris, France, after he was linked to a prostitution ring that allegedly trafficked minors.
No, it's not the French. Of course I like the French, and I love Paris, and I love France, but the judicial system there with the judges having so much power, and people complain to me about it, is deplorable. That this judge would have the power to do what he did in such a way is just unacceptable, and I'm furious about it. That was an awful experience and a totally unnecessary one, and I've heard, like, a lot of people told me that they were apologizing, were embarrassed. I think the police were even embarrassed. It just shouldn't have happened. And the judge knew that I was there. I'd been there for months. And it just shouldn't have happened. And if I had known it was going to happen, I wouldn't have come back. I would have said, arrange that this does not happen, because the judge knew that I sent him a letter saying I'll be there. And they made a big drama out of it and came and burst into my hotel room, 7 or 8 cops, which was totally, unacceptable. And maybe I should have called Amnesty International or something.
Can you believe the sheer audacity of this man? He's dripping with moral outrage, yet he's just been caught red-handed paying for services at a brothel. One that, shockingly, has underage children on its roster. Some things don't change.
I mean, he's so blatantly stupid. He's a punk, he's a dog, he's a pig, he's a con, a artist, a mutt who doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't do his homework, doesn't care, thinks he's gaming society, doesn't pay his taxes. He's an idiot. Colin Powell said it best. He's a national disaster. He's an embarrassment to this country. It makes me so angry that this country has gotten to this point, that this fool, this bozo, has wound up where he has. He talks how he wants to punch people in the face. Well, I'd like to punch him in the face.
Wendy's got him in her crosshairs, and she's not subtle about it. In one of the leaked tapes we've got, she calls him a flunky with a leash. Her words, not mine. A compromised pawn who traded his soul for a seat at the table. He has seen too much and done worse, and now he's paying the price. You see, in this game, nobody gets to the top without signing on the dotted line. It's a deal with the devil, and De Niro, he sold his soul a long time ago. Fame, power, influence. It all came at a cost, and that cost is steep. Wendy claims he's been locked into the Illuminati's humiliation rituals. Public displays of shame designed to keep him in line and to remind him who really holds the reins.
What's up, snitches? It's indeed a pleasure to meet you. Oh, dear, as you know, a bitch gotta stay dipped. Indeed.
What?
Well, girl, you the one that's hot fire. If you wasn't my man's mom, I'd tear that ass up. Thank you.
And here's the kicker. She's got proof. A grainy audio clip from that 2023 deposition where the insider says, and I quote, "Bobby was there that night sipping champagne while the deal went down." What deal? We're still piecing it together, but the implications are nuclear. It's all coming right up after this important word.